Hi, Misha here, and I haven't really posted a video in a few days because I wanted to make my next one on this. And it was scheduled to be in Saturday. Mail got delayed it a little, but it came today, Monday. This is something new, or new old stock from Eaglemoss, being distributed by Master Replicas, who took over. And according to their website, this is unreleased, and it was really the last model they did in the Star Trek line, the universe line. This is the Courage class USS Jubayr, and this is from the 31st Century Star Fleet, which I actually really like. Even if you don't like Disco Seasons 3 or 4, I don't know, I find the ship designs interesting, at least the ones we've received so far. And you can tell this is kind of old stock because the box is a little dusty on this end, meaning it's probably been sitting around for a bit. And while I was picking that up, since they had to be shipped from the UK, I also picked up the Hierarchy assault ship. This did come out towards the very end of the Eaglemoss run, and I just never grabbed it. But I figured since I am paying international shipping, which wasn't bad, it was like 15 bucks. Might as well. So we'll crack these open, look at them for a minute. We haven't done an Eaglemoss video in quite a while. Somewhat interestingly, the box wasn't taped. The original Eaglemoss weren't, but the last little bit they started taping them. It happened right after the coup, so I wonder if it had something to do with that. Anyway, here we are. Of course, for me, these are always exciting because I can't see pictures, so yeah, this should be an interesting ship. No magazine with it. I didn't really expect there to be because of being very much at the end. And it always seemed like with Eaglemoss, the magazines were printed after the models were made, because sometimes when there would be a new release, they would send the model and the magazine would trail 2-3 weeks behind. So just the model itself, but it comes in the styrofoam. So see what we have here. Get back with you. Okay, when it comes to Eaglemoss, that's an interesting stand, but these 31st century ships always do. And for anyone who cares, here's the little number. I can't see it, but maybe you can. So they did actually have these numbered on the base. I wasn't sure if they would, frankly. I've always liked the Eaglemoss bases. They're actually quite well weighted. So the ship itself. Kind of reminds me of the Nog in its scaling. It's very light. The top is metal, the quote-unquote saucer part, but then the whole bottom, the star drive part, I suppose, is the polymer, the plastic. It's lighter than I expected. And we don't really have detached nacelles as such like the other ones from this fleet. That's just part of the design. So it does make the whole stand situation easier. Well, let's get the spinny thing out. Interesting way it gets cradled in the stand. It fits really well. My only concern is these little, I don't know if they're supposed to be nacelles or something else at the bottom stick out. I don't think it'll put too much pressure on that, but I'd kind of watch it just a little bit, taking it in and out. It's a little top heavy. Again, the metal's up here, but it's pretty well supported. And it is a very vertical design. The model itself kind of is deceptively, it seems like it's small, but then you figure how tall it is. So what do we know about the Courage class itself from Disco Seasons 3 and 4? Not a whole lot, like a lot of the fleet. Will we learn more eventually? I'm sure if Alpha Canon doesn't, Beta Canon will kind of expand upon these ships. We do know it's quite a large ship. I've seen an estimation of about 1,140 meters. I don't know if that's vertical or horizontal. We've seen other large ships like the USS Nog. These were around before the burn. We see more than a few getting destroyed. And we know of at least 3 that are at Starfleet. The USS Song. And trying to think of the other one. Interestingly, the Jubayr is more of a concept than something seen on screen, but again, that's not really surprising. The ship itself, it said it's named after a 13th century Arabic explorer. Cool. They've been kind of doing that, which I actually like. You know, a lot of the ship names in Star Trek have been very, if not American-centric, they've been very Western-centric. US, France, UK. And that's cool and all because that's where the show's from, but I mean, it's a United Earth, so yeah, you would even maybe suggest they should have more names from across the Federation, but keep in mind, Starfleet itself is primarily Earth human based. Federation, no, but Starfleet, yeah, even though other people can serve inside it. We don't really know anything else about it, just one of the modern ships. And they're just trying to make it look weird. And they do. It looks weird. And I am happy that Master Replicas found these, that they made some. They had plans to make a good number of the 31st century fleets. And I don't know how many came to fruition or if Master Replicas will continue it on. Right now, they've still been selling, you know, old Eaglemoss stock. That's why I haven't really done much. Most of the stuff they have, they've already sold. I either have or I don't want. So, I think they're at about a dozen so-called drops right now. Yeah. Not much more to say about this one. It's brand new. I just opened it up. Hell, the mail just came, so I thought I'd do this video. So real quick, let's open up the Hierarchy ship, just to give a little more content. As you can tell, this is in the later style packaging, and it was sealed. And it does come with the newer style magazine, the smaller style. Again, these were out at the end of Eaglemoss, though. These are certainly more retail-friendly packaging. But yeah, let's open this one up. Much smaller little stand there. And there's the base and the number for funsies. I rarely ask anyone to read mine to me because they're just little plastic stickers, but hey, it's a thing. And of course the ship itself. Now that's an interesting looking critter. And not what I was really expecting when it comes to the Hierarchy. Pretty heavy too. Main core is mostly metal. And yeah, the stand kind of just cradles it. It's not clipped on, it just uses its weight in the center. And it does have little notches to kind of conform with the bottom. You could kind of knock it off, but on the stand it's pretty secure. Just kind of sits on there. Reminds me a lot of the Battlestar Galactica stands. But it's very unobtrusive. Neat ship. Of course, this is in the standard line, although it's the bonus edition because the main line wrapped up at issue 180. I don't know if Eaglemoss knew they were in financial trouble, and that's why they ended the Starships line, or if it's just somewhat coincidental. But I think for a lot of collectors, glad they did. And also glad I never did the Build the Enterprise D. I knew that would give me headaches. I can't see to do instructions, and I knew they'd just drive me mad. And I'm not much for the build of things. I like everything in one box. Anyway, this wasn't one I was just itching to get, but again, like I said, I was already getting something else. I figured, put something else in the box. And the hierarchy, we're in, what, 3 episodes of Voyager? We had 2 ships from them. This is, of course, the assault ship. There's also a very similar looking survey ship, and there's a different type that doesn't have the little wings. But generally, they're all kind of the same ovular shaped main hull. They're a lot more organic than I expected. I guess I expected the hierarchy to be more technological looking. More of a traditional, like, wedge shape or something. I can add it to the list of Janeway's friends. Did a video a long time ago kind of making fun of that. But, neat little ship for what it is. We have no specs on it. We know more about the hierarchy themselves, but the ships, not really. They seem to be very regimented, very hierarchical. Wonder why that is. But no, I don't regret getting it. It's, again, both of the ships today are not what I was expecting, which is kind of a good thing. I like being surprised. As far as I know, this little thing moves, not on the model, but in the show, this little sensor dish. The stand uses the little divot on the bottom here to kind of cradle into. The main body is all metal, top and bottom. The wings or nacelles or whatever are plastic. The tail is plastic. Very thin, actually, because of delicate. You can tell it's a very delicate CGI model. I believe these are all CGI. So yeah, this is actually still got some good weight to it. Not huge, not tiny. Just a really alien looking ship. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the aliens, NECA and Giger, and so these look downright conservative compared to his things. But not Federation. We do know from the show that a couple of these are kind of a match for an Intrepid class, and that 3 can definitely challenge it. They had phasers, they had shielding, and they had stealth devices. They had a few different ways of stealth modes. They also had very long-range sensors with quantum tunneling. So a neat alien species. I liked Voyager when they would introduce alien species and they'd kind of be in their territory for a few months and then pass out. That's where Voyager really was the exact opposite of DS9. DS9 was stationary, literally. So you'd have the same aliens and characters over and over. Sorry about that. But Voyager, they're moving through thousands of light years. So it's good that, like, the Kazon and the Vidians dropped away. I don't know how some of the races kept up. It made sense that the Hirogen did because they were scattered hunters, and certainly the Borg, there's kind of an excuse there. But some of the other races, I'm like, I don't know how you're running into them that far away. But oh well, Voyager's writing things aside. Let's wrap the video up. Final thoughts on my second shipment from Master Replicas. As I said, I like being surprised, and both of these surprised me. The Hierarchy ship, I think, will be kind of one of my little background ship favorites. I like having alien ships, just because. Also, fun fact, as much as I don't say boxes when it comes to everything else, for some reason I do save the NECA boxes. The Eaglemoss boxes. I don't know, maybe it's because it's one of the earlier things I started collecting. Maybe it's because they're not like parts where you had to put them back in and stuff. I don't know, I do. As far as this goes, like I said, I'm just trying to be very careful getting this out. Because we have these little forks at the bottom. Yeah, the overall shape does kind of remind me of the USS Nog we've already received. The Eisenberg class. So we do have a bit of a kind of continuum there, but we don't have detached nacelles on this that could do that. I don't know if these are supposed to be the nacelles. This definitely looks like more of the engineering / cargo hull. I don't even know for sure. Is that the front? In some ways, with these forks pointing backwards, I want to say that's the rear. That, to me, seems more like the front. But I could also honestly say, too, this could be the front. This kind of diamond-shaped hull. I don't know. It also kind of reminds me more of a, especially considering its size, maybe like a cargo ship, a tanker, or maybe this is just the hull and our bridge is way back here overlooking. I don't know. I do like my Federation, my Starfleet ships. I think most of us do. It's nice to have a fleet, and it's also nice that after a long time, Starfleet kind of maybe started taking more alien inspiration. I wonder what that hole is in here. I would almost say it's a deflector dish, except then it's solid. And that makes me think this might be the rear again, because it's kind of hollowed out. I don't know. And I like it. I like having a ship I can't just immediately pick up and identify pieces on. That makes it truly futuristic or alien. And I've said before in previous videos, I'm always thinking this is the front now because of this dished out back. With these little forky things sticking forward. Pincers. But anyway, if you look at the future ships from Voyager, like the Relativity, it has kind of this organic-y look, but it's a couple hundred years behind these. So it does seem like Starfleet's going away from saucers and angles and struts to more organic shapes, maybe even partially grown ships. I do like the kind of spacing here. Yeah, I'm going to say to me this seems like the front. Little thing there, whatever that is. Definitely doesn't not seem like a combat ship because of its size, its girth. It's girthy. Same goes for the Nog, the Eisenberg. Get in here again. I'm just being very careful best I can. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you can kind of over install it. It doesn't want to bend back. Don't force it. Just let it kind of rest. And those do support it quite well. It's a little top heavy, so just be mindful of that. I wouldn't put it somewhere where you can knock it over, says the blind guy. And at most, you might put a little blue tack on the back here. All of these 31st century ships are a little finicky on their stands, just kind of by their unusual nature. And a hierarchy ship we've already talked about, really. More standard edition. That's what we got. So what do you think of this new old stock ship? Kind of makes you wonder how far along in other models Eaglemoss was before they were axed. But that's what happens when you don't pay your bills, boys and girls, even in the UK. But yeah, I was waiting to put out a fresh video so we could talk about this because I was excited. It was something new. You know, the last one was one of the Inquiry ship variants, which I'm happy to have, but it was just a variant. This is at least something we've never really seen before, and I doubt there are many videos on the hierarchy either. So yeah, let me know what you think. And sorry there's really no more history or specs behind either of these, but just kind of how it goes. A lot of the alien ships just don't get a lot of specs, especially from Voyager. And the 31st century ships are so new to the Starfleet fleet, the canon universe, that there just hasn't been much lore published about them. And that's fine. If you go back and look in the 80s, there wasn't much about the Oberth or the Miranda class or even the Excelsior for a long time either. Anywho, appreciate you hanging out. If you could, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. You're on YouTube. This is Misha. Catch you very soon next time.